So, in this episode of One Piece, the true nature of the final battle between Dory and Broggy is revealed to Broggy by Mr. Three, who tells him about the fact that Dory's alcohol was spiked by explosives from him, and it wasn't a fair fight. Over these 100 years, Mr. Three is the real winner of this 100-year duel because of, his underhanded tactics. But it's also revealed that Broggy knew the entire time, so the tears that he was shedding in the last episode, I interpreted wrong. It wasn't tears of happiness or victory or anything like that. He actually knew about the fact that Dory he was injured and decided to fight anyway. And it was almost Dory's way of Broggy's way of respecting Dory in that sense, because these two are very prideful warriors, and the fact that Dory wanted to fight anyway, Broggy was almost honoring that by fighting him back. He didn't want to show him pity, because that would have been, disrespecting him in that regard, disrespecting his pride and his willingness to fight. He actually described Dory in this episode as his dear friend. Broggy's tears wasn't, again, about victory. It was more shedding tears for his friend Dory and this whole situation and everything like that. He says to Mr. Three, somebody like you wouldn't understand the tears that have been shed in this battle. And he tries to escape from the prison that Mr. Three has put him in, this candle wax prison, but he ends up getting attacked as well and falling and getting these massive spikes through his hand and feet by Mr. Three. And you can tell Mr. Three has no empathy, nothing about him. He's just a cold-hearted bastard, basically. He doesn't care about the history of these two. I mean, with Nami, Zoro, and Vivi, he's currently got them on this giant candle thingy, and he's about to turn them all into wax figures, and he wants them all to be scared because he thinks, the true nature of art, he wants them to have terror on their face. That's what he considers beautiful art. Like, this guy is a sicko. I mean, you can tell from his hair that he's probably not all there in the head. Do you know what I mean? But the dude, he's terrible. Broggy in this episode has completely lost his will to fight. You can tell after what's happened with Dory and how it came to an end, how he feels like he's almost been betrayed. It feels like by Elbaf's god. He says to him, to the Elbaf god, how is this fair? Why would you not let us die in battle? I think he's sort of lost his pride, not his pride, but like his willingness to be a warrior in this episode. It all sort of goes from him until he sees Zoro try to escape this giant candle wax by cutting his own legs off. He sort of, it inspires him a little bit to be like, I need to start fighting again. Zoro, speaking of Zoro, that's gangster. The fact he's willing to cut his own legs off in order to get out of this situation, in order to keep fighting, is insane. It goes to show the sort of man that Zoro is insane. And he was going to do it as well if Luffy and Usopp and Karoo didn't show up in time. He was halfway through cutting his own legs off in order to escape this situation and try to fight. Like, Zoro is so badass, man. He's just the coolest. But luckily, Zoro's not going to have to amputate his own legs because Luffy, Usopp, and Karoo showed up last minute. And speaking of those three, Jesus Christ, at the beginning, Luffy got such a beating by Mr. Five. Obviously, he's trapped under the rock. And once he hears that Zoro and Nami has been captured, he spits on Mr. Five's foot. And Mr. Five just kicks him with these explosive kicks, basically, that would have killed any other person. He hits him like 20 times with these explosives directly to the face. How Luffy survived that, I don't know. This dude is actually invincible, I think. But then Karoo wakes up and digs out Luffy and Usopp, and that's how they've ended up back here. Karoo is actually the MVP of this situation, I swear. Like, he refused to give the location away for Vivi, and then he helped Usopp and Luffy escape. So Karoo is the best. Anyway, now those three has arrived. Hopefully they can free Zoro, Nami, and Vivi, as well as Broggy, and they can, I want to see Broggy beat the shit out of Mr. Three. I think that would be the best thing ever. I'd like to see him get up and be able to, just destroy Mr. Three for what he's done. I think that would be great. And Usopp's clearly been inspired too. He has a fire behind him right now that I think was inspired by Broggy and their talks and everything like that, and him witnessing the battle between those two. So I think this could do a lot for Usopp as a character as well. But yeah, I'm buzzing to see where this goes. It's always exciting when Luffy shows up to the battlefield, and hopefully Broggy gets out and he gets to, get some revenge, but we'll have to see.